to the BDI Create Today podcast. This is a podcast where we uncover and discover the who, what, where, when, why, and how you can be creative or have more creativity. And together we'll explore the extraordinary impact creativity can have in your life, in heart, mind, body, and soul. And if we haven't met yet, I'm Beth Buffington, a licensed artist, digital illustration instructor, and a creative coach living just outside of the Windy City, Chicago. But mostly, I'm someone who is curious about how creativity can weave its way into nearly everything in our lives. Each week, we are going to look at one or more of the sparkly facets that make up the ever-changing kaleidoscope that is creativity. Hello, my creative friend. Welcome to the BDI Create Today podcast, where today we dive deep into the vast ocean of creativity to emerge with pearls of wisdom. I am your host, Beth Buffington, and this week I'm recording live from a serene beach in South Carolina, where the rhythmic melody of the waves meet the whispers of creative inspiration. That sounds poetic, right? And it sure feels that way. So bear with me while I wax poetically about the week I'm spending with waves. Because I'm here listening to waves even as I speak, we're going to explore the boundless well of creativity that lies within the artistry of the ocean. I love the sound of waves. I leave the door open at night when we sleep so I can hear the waves crashing when I wake up. I hear them saying, "Come on, girl, hurry up, get a move on. It's time to take another stroll." But before I go on my next barefoot walk down the beach, I want to take a moment to talk to you, my friend, about creativity. Now, as I gaze at the endless expanse of water and waves that's just outside my window right now, it makes me think about how the ocean mirrors my own creative process. Creativity and the ocean are ever changing. They are both humbling. They're vast, yet attainable, especially when you take time to stop and look for inspiration and gather ideas. And the ocean, like creativity, is constantly awe-inspiring. So just like time spent when you are in creative flow on a really great creative project, at the beach, time just melts away when I am combing the shore looking for shells or rocks as I explore. And on the beach, my goodness, every child and pretty much every adult, they become both engineers and architects. They're building castles, they're digging waterways and moats, learning what holds through the day and how fragile creations really are after the tide rolls in and then rolls away. But each day brings a clean beach canvas, ready for whatever the imagination can dream up. And then you decide, what are you going to build? Or what are you going to find? The beach also reminds me of like a lovely, gorgeous artisan boutique store. While I'm strolling through the treasures that the beach has displayed for me today, I am shopping for that one seashell that catches my attention. You know, that one that will match the personality of someone that I want to gift, or maybe the color of a room I am decorating. So, just like a perfect artisan boutique store, I am shopping for colorful rocks, smooth, frosty pieces of sea glass, uniquely odd and great shells with personality, or even that one shell that just arrives in perfect condition. So when I comb the beach, I can find an ocean of treasures that match that funny, sweet, silly, or creative personality of each one of the people in my family. I love finding that perfect shell or rock to match to people It's like taking a quest in search of that one perfect idea that you're going to use on your next creative journey. Each step on the beach brings me closer to uncovering a hidden gem, a tiny surprise, waiting amongst all of those grains of sand just for me. While I scan the shore, sorting out shapes and colors that might grab and captivate my imagination, I'm like that shopper, selecting the perfect product that matches my desires. I carefully inspect each shell I choose to pick up. And this week I have found so many unique intricacies in each shell that I find. And I marvel at those tiny details that are really the gorgeous part of the artistry of nature. And it's humbling to think of the journey that each shell has made to find its way to the beach that I'm visiting. I often feel a little weird spark of joy with each tiny treasure that I choose to save, knowing that this shell is the one shell in all the shells in all the ocean that found its way to me. And I feel a tiny bit, a little twinge of regret for the shell that I held, but decided not to keep. Sometimes it's because my pockets aren't big enough, or I'm in a hurry and I see a shell and I think that would be neat, but I walk by it. I kind of think to myself, sorry, friend. No offense, little shell. You're a beauty. But today I'm looking for a shell slightly different, or I'm in a hurry, so I can't take you with me. So good fortune to you, little shell. This is kind of like my Marie Kondo mantra for saying adieu to the shell not chosen. So collecting shells this week has made me think about the process of creative projects. Creativity, like the ocean, ebbs and flows. It has its high tides and it has its low tides. Sometimes creativity, like a big wave, crashes to the shore with thunderous force, an idea that arrives loud and proud and ready to be revealed. While other times creativity retreats and it pulls away, but it does leave behind some treasures. But they need to be sifted and sorted in order to find the ideas and inspirations that could really turn into something grand. Just like creativity, the ocean is an endless resource for certain. But figuring out how to really take advantage of this reservoir of treasures that the ocean provides, that's the important part. Like creativity, we need to be able to see and then use what we've collected. Being mindful of letting our creativity loose and letting our imagination spark, but then doing the work from what we've collected. That's being wise with the treasures that we have found. It would be wrong to bring home sea treasures, all these seashells from the shore, and then just let them sit in a box. Or worse yet, get tossed away as trash when we arrive at home. It's important to continue to see the treasure, the spark of inspiration, whatever it was that inspired us to save that shell. What was it that we were enthralled with when we picked up that tiny shell? That needs to stay with us when we get home. We need to stay enthralled by the beauty and the bounty of the ocean long after we've driven away from its magic shores. And creativity is like that too. Often we're sparked with great ideas that we've collected, and we bring them home like shells at the beach. It's what we do with these ideas that we've collected that make our creative passions produce the beauty that we are capable of creating. So bring home those treasures and then put them to good use. While at the beach, I decided it was important to immerse myself into the wonder of the ocean. I mean, I'm only here for a week. I want to make sure I make the most of my time. So one of the ways I did this was through seeing the stories that the ocean is telling. Each wave has a story to tell, a story of resilience, of adaptation, of constant motion and movement. And like the intricate dance of waves and currents that the ocean displays for me to watch, I can remember that as a creative, I need to look, collect, and interpret the beauty in the world that is all around me. And then I need to translate my thoughts into the voice that is my creative passion. We all need to have that kind of knowledge about the stories that the world is telling us through nature. And then also, each shell has a story. It's a rare shell that arrives on the beach in perfect condition. Many shells slide onto the shore for display in pieces, broken, but still beautiful after their tumultuous journey to the beach. And they arrive with scars, clearly from stories in their past that I will never know. It's curious to see all these beautiful shells on display, knowing that they spent their watery life every day in a world I'll never see. They were out floating on the floor of the ocean on a day I was sitting drinking coffee at my kitchen table. And now they are at my feet, waiting for me to pick them up. I wonder about the journey they took to arrive on the beach in front of my feet. What caused the grooves, the scars, the colors, and the breakage that make them the unique find for me to browse? So I try to admire all the shells, knowing that beauty runs deep. It runs far past the whole shell. Beauty is found in the pieces, in the moss that clings, in the difference of rough and smooth sides, in the scars, in the carbuncles that cling like extra friends to a shell. It's so intriguing to know what was that everyday story of life and loss in each of these little shells. If the shells on the shore could speak, their voices, I am sure, would shout louder than the waves. By immersing myself in nature's canvas this week and remembering to pause and absorb what I see, from the tiny little bubbles that pop up in the sand after the waves back down, to the funny globby jellyfish that must not be touched, to watching the bulky pelicans glide through the air like gorgeous agile dancers. It's a feast for all my senses that soaks in from eyes and ears and toes. It's gathering all this and then taking all the goodness that I'm collecting this week and then translating these treasures of ocean sights and sounds into my unique creativity. That will be the true souvenir that I bring home from the beach this week. When we can open our minds to new possibilities and fresh perspective that we absorb from the places that we visit, this is what can lead to some really amazing creative work. So another way that I have found to absorb the world around me and to find creativity in the ocean's artistry is through thinking about connections. It's when I listen closely that I can hear the ocean speaking to my creativity, whispering secrets carried from distant shores, echoing the wisdom of generations past. By forging a deeper connection with nature, I believe I can tap into a wellspring of creativity that will flow from all the living things that I feel around me. This takes some quiet reflection. It takes the turning off of music and settling my mind to be mindful and present in the actual surroundings that I feel myself in, and letting the vastness of nature's beauty and power settle into my very bones and my being. And then it's taking this connection and translating the emotions that I feel and absorbing them and mixing them into my unique creativity. And then I hope to be able to express this in my creative voice. What colors, what shapes, what subjects will all of this emit? I don't know yet. And then, my friend, I find creativity in the ocean's ability to inspire wonder and awe in what I actually feel in all my senses. There's something inherently magical about standing on the shore, feeling the sand between my toes, and listening to the waves rhythmically land on the shore, and see the painted patterns that are left in the sand. I can taste the saltiness of the sea spray, and I can smell that unique aroma that only the fresh sea air provides. It's such a treasure for my heart, my mind, body, and my soul. The ocean, it reminds us that creativity is not just about the projects we finish. It's the whole journey from prelude to finale. And a really giant part of our creativity is found in the realizing of creativity around us, the absorbing and being mindful in the moments when creativity is loudest. So as creatives, let's remember to stop and experience the experience. That those tiny moments of pure joy and wonder that we feel as we stroll our creative beaches, looking for that one shell of an idea that leads us to our next great idea. And here's my goal. I want to take the magic I have found and am finding here this week at the beach, and I want to bring it home with me and use the treasures I've collected. Things I've actually brought home with me, feelings I've felt, sights I've seen, pictures I've taken, sounds I've heard, feelings I've touched. And I want to create with these ideas that have sparked. And I want to stay refreshed from the calm that I have felt. And I want to continue to spend time seeking the treasure that nature has provided and is still providing me throughout this week. And I want to set more time to continue to connect creatively in the forest preserves, the lakes, the rivers, and parks near me, to purposely comb these spots looking for creative treasure that will excite my imagination and soothe my creativity in heart, mind, body, and soul, just like the ocean is doing for me this week. And I encourage you, my creative friend, take a moment to connect with the natural artistry wherever you are right now. Whether you can stroll along a shore collecting seashells, or you're going to bask in the beauty of your own backyard garden. Remember that creativity is all around us in our parks, our rivers, our forest preserves, waiting to be found, waiting to be connected with, waiting to be appreciated for all its glory. It wants to be discovered. It's waiting for you. So, go. Be creative in nature. And wherever you go, stay creative, my friend.